Police suspect that the two Naxals were also killed in the gun battle.
President Pranab Mukherjee has expressed serious concern over the fire that took place in the Parliament House complex yesterday. He called upon authorities concerned to conduct an urgent inquiry into the cause of the fire and take necessary steps to ensure that such incidents do not occur in the future. The President said the complete safety and security of Parliament complex must be ensured at all times. A massive fire had broken out in the Parliament complex in New Delhi yesterday. 10 fire tenders had to be rushed in to the spot to douse the flames. Director Delhi Fire Service A.K. Sharma told reporters that the fire broke out due to a welding spark in an AC plant in Parliament. He said that the fire had been brought under control and no casualty or injury had been reported. Meanwhile, Home Ministry has sought a report from the Delhi Fire Services, Delhi Police and CPWD on the incident and asked them to explain the reasons behind the fire. On the other hand, the Delhi Police have initiated an inquiry into the matter as well.
Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan has also expressed concern over the fire incident in Parliament House complex and has asked for a detailed report. She has also ordered for complete checking of the existing wirings, fittings and equipment.
Now, 57 Indian fishing boats released by Pakistan will arrive at Gujarat's Porbandar today. These boats, seized by the Pakistani authorities, have been returned to India by the maritime agencies of the neighbouring country yesterday. Escorted by Pakistan Marine Security Agency, Pakistani fishermen tugged the 57 fishing trawlers at International Maritime Boundary Line. Later on, the PMSA handed the boats over to the Indian Coast Guard after completing formalities. A statement issued by the Home Ministry in New Delhi said the government had diplomatic talks with Pakistan for the release and return of 57 Indian fishing boats. The MEA and the High Commission of India in Islamabad, with the help of Pakistan Maritime Security Agency, then arranged for inspection and return of the boats to India. All these boats belong to Gujarat fishermen and most of them have been registered at the Porbandar harbour.
And it's time now for another very short commercial break, but there's more up ahead. Stay with us.
When I wanted to take a life insurance policy, I visited the LIC website. It's so user-friendly. You can choose a policy, make a premium payment, and do a lot more. Why go anywhere else?
Kiran, happy birthday. हमारा घर.
Happy birthday, Mama.
तुम्हें कैसे पता?
रोज बोलती थी ना, हमारा घर हमारा घर.
SBI होम लोन्स में हम भी पढ़ लेते हैं आपके मन की बात. इसलिए हमने इंटरेस्ट रेट्स किए हैं कम, खासकर महिलाओं के लिए. SBI होम लोन्स.
कोई जरूरत नहीं है जांच वाच कराने की. 2 महीने भी नहीं हुए हैं गर्भ.
ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि माँ और बच्चा दोनों ठीक हैं?
चांस क्यों लेना? क्या चांस? वो देखो, बरसों से सुनती आ रही है. इसे ठीक करवा लीजिए. कभी सिर पे गिर गया तो कुछ नहीं होगा. कोई जांच कराने की जरूरत नहीं. जांच करा ले. प्रसव के पहले माँ की कम से कम 4 बार जांच अवश्य कराएं. ये सेवाएं
चांस लेना है, चांस क्यों लेना?
बढ़ा कदम तू, बढ़ा कदम, तेरे साथ साथ तेरा देश बढ़ रहा है. बढ़ा कदम तू, बढ़ा कदम, ये तेरा योगदान है जो विश्व में नाम है. ये देश तेरे टैक्स से छू रहा आसमां है. तेरे टैक्स से ही चलेगा ये वतन. बढ़ा कदम.
अगर आपने अपने एडवांस टैक्स का भुगतान अभी तक नहीं किया है या अपनी आयकर रिटर्न अभी तक दाखिल नहीं की है तो इस 31 मार्च तक अवश्य करें.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching The Breakfast Show.
Okay, now it's time to take you through some of the events, the important events that have been listed for throughout the day.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Hussainiwala village in Firozpur district of Punjab to pay homage to martyr Bhagat Singh on his martyrdom day. The Prime Minister will also pay obeisance at Golden Temple in Amritsar. India and China will hold the 18th round of border talks in Delhi. This is the first round of negotiations after Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to power last year. The two sides are expected to focus on clarification of the line of actual control. Special Representative and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval will hold talks with his Chinese counterpart and State Councillor Yang Jiechi. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh will inaugurate an annual conference of State Minorities Commissions which focuses on the development of the minorities in India in New Delhi. The first Vice President of Cuba, Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez, will arrive in India on a 3-day visit. Cuban Vice President will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Vice President Hamid Ansari and President Pranab Mukherjee. The central government will begin issuing ownership rights for the 15 coal mines that have been auctioned so far. The Supreme Court will resume hearing against Sahara chief Subrata Roy, arrested in connection for his failure to refund over 20,000 crore rupees to investors who had invested towards the group's housing project. A Mumbai Sessions Court will begin recording the statement of actor Salman Khan accused in a 2002 hit-and-run case.
And today is the martyrdom day of one of the most prominent revolutionaries of freedom struggle, Bhagat Singh. In April 1929, with Batukeshwar Dutt, Bhagat Singh undertook the task to throw 2 bombs and leaflets inside the Central Legislative Assembly while shouting slogans of Inqilab Zindabad. At the age of 23, he was convicted in the Saunders case and was hanged on the 23rd of March 1931 along with Sukhdev and Rajguru.
In April 1919, a 12-year-old boy visited the site of Jallianwala Bagh massacre. He collected soil from the spot and kept it as a memento for the rest of his life. The boy was Bhagat Singh, one of the most influential revolutionary of the Indian freedom movement. This massacre deeply disturbed him and he resolved to drive British out from India. Bhagat Singh was born on 28 September 1907 in Layalpur, which is now in Pakistan. His birth coincided with the release from jail of his father, Kishan Singh, and 2 uncles, Ajit Singh and Swaran Singh. When he was pursuing law at Lahore, Bhagat Singh came under the influence of 2 teachers who were fierce nationalists. They were Bhai Parmanand and Jayachand Vidyalankar. Both of them left an indelible impression on him. He later joined the National College founded by Lala Lajpat Rai, from where he graduated in 1923. In 1926, Bhagat Singh founded the Naujawan Bharat Sabha at Lahore to inculcate a spirit of revolution among the youth. He came in touch with other revolutionaries like Sukhdev, Chandrasekhar Azad, B.K. Dutt and Surendra Nath Pandya. Bhagat Singh, along with Rajguru and Chandrasekhar Azad, made an attempt to assassinate Scott, believed to be responsible for fatally assaulting Lala Lajpat Rai, who was demonstrating against the all-white Simon Commission. But Saunders, a police head constable, was killed by mistake. It was Bhagat Singh who joined the slogan Inqilab Zindabad, which later became the war cry of the country's independence struggle. On 8th April 1929, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi to demonstrate against the autocratic foreign rule. They were later arrested along with Rajguru and Sukhdev. Bhagat Singh, along with other revolutionaries, were found responsible for the assembly bombing and murder of Saunders. Bhagat Singh and his compatriots were tried and hanged in Lahore Central Jail on 23rd March 1931. Bhagat Singh was among the prominent revolutionaries who shaped the base of a grand national movement. Following his execution on 23rd March 1931, the supporters and followers of Bhagat Singh regarded him as a shaheed or martyr. The execution was a great blow to the sentiments of Indians who in turn were deeply moved and held demonstrations all over the country. Bureau Report, DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Hussainiwala village in Firozpur district of Punjab to pay homage to martyr Bhagat Singh on his martyrdom day. The Prime Minister will also be visiting the Golden Temple at Amritsar. Our correspondent Anuj Yadav tells us about the itinerary of the Prime Minister's visit. He's filed this walkthrough from the Golden Temple in Amritsar.
शहीदी दिवस के मौके पर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी पंजाब की 1 दिवसीय यात्रा पर होंगे वो शहीदों को राजगुरु भगत सिंह और सुखदेव को श्रद्धांजलि देने के बाद अमृतसर पहुंचेंगे और यहां पर गुरुद्वारा हरमिंदर साहिब में, जिसे स्वर्ण मंदिर के रूप में भी जाना जाता है, यहां पर मत्था टेकेंगे और मत्था टेकने के बाद जो बिल्कुल यहीं से लगा हुआ सटा हुआ है जलियांवाला बाग जहां 1919 के अंदर जो नरसंहार हुआ था जनरल डायर के आदेश के बाद, यहां पर सैकड़ों की संख्या में मौजूद बेगुनाहों को मार दिया गया था, वहां पर भी जाएंगे और उसके बाद उनकी यात्रा यहां पर पंजाब के अंदर खत्म होगी। अपने सहयोगी आशुतोष सिंह और शैलेंद्र मिश्र के साथ अनुज यादव, डीडी न्यूज, अमृतसर।
And we'll be getting you regular updates on that trip that the Prime Minister is taking to Punjab to pay homage to martyrs. But now it's time for some international news. Okay, first up, Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's first Prime Minister, passed away early this morning at the age of 91. Lee was considered as the architect of Singapore's rapid rise from a British tropical outpost to a global trade and financial centre. Lee became Singapore's first Prime Minister in 1959 and continued to hold the post for over 3 decades. The Southeast Asian country, which was separated from Malaysia in 1969, was transformed into one of Asia's most prosperous nations during this period. Lee Kuan Yew left active politics when he stepped down from elder son Lee Hsien Loong's cabinet in 2011. He had also cut down his public appearances in recent months due to his age and declining health. Singapore has announced national mourning from the 23rd to the 29th of March, and state funeral will be held on the 29th as well.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condoled the demise of Lee Kuan Yew. The Prime Minister in his message said, I quote, "In his hour of bereavement, our prayers are with Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's family and the people of Singapore. May his soul rest in peace. A far-sighted statesman and a lion among leaders, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's life teaches valuable lessons to everyone. News of his demise is saddening."
And let's now take a quick look at some of the other international news in our Globe-Trotting segment.
According to United Nations, events in Yemen are pushing the country to the edge of civil war. A UN Special Envoy has called for all parties to resolve the escalating conflict peacefully. Impoverished Yemen has descended into chaos in recent months, with a Shiite militia known as Houthis seizing control of Sana'a and forcing President Adeb Rabbo Mansour Hadi to flee to the main southern city of Aden. Islamist rebels captured 4 crew members of a regime helicopter which crashed in Idlib province of northwest Syria, while a 5th serviceman was killed. Syrian Observatory for Human Rights has said that a regime helicopter was forced to land in the region of Jabal al-Zawiya in the northwest. Former Sri Lankan Army Chief Sarath Fonseca was conferred the country's highest military rank of Field Marshal for achieving victory over terrorism by the new government 5 years after he was jailed on alleged treason charges by the previous regime. President Maithripala Sirisena awarded the honorary title to retired General Fonseca at an official ceremony in Colombo.
And let's take you over to Rukma, who's done the honors with the day's newspapers, taking you through all the top stories that have been published in the newspapers that have come out in the national capital.
Welcome. Let's now take a look at the top stories in the national dailies this morning. Most papers are leading with their take on their individual take on the Prime Minister's radio address, in which he reached out to farmers in his Mann Ki Baat All India Radio address, which took place on Sunday. The Times of India leads with, Modi takes an opposition on land bill, says lies are being spread, will not reduce compensation, the Prime Minister tells farmers. And the box item has a quote from the Prime Minister. It reads, our commitment is to ensure benefits for farmers through the Land Acquisition Act. So many lies are being spread. And he says that do not be misled. States like Maharashtra and Haryana, where the Congress was in power, implemented the law but gave half the compensation prescribed in the law. Another top story is an interesting report submitted by the Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, on greenhouse gas emissions. The report claims that urban homes emit more greenhouse gases than industry. The report contains the names of around 5 cities across the country, and it contains their average greenhouse gas emissions, which this report claims is more than what factories emit. We move on next to the Economic Times, which leads with the latest reports on the relationship between the RBI and the Finance Ministry. It says here, Man Ki Baat, Jaitley says RBI and government are a team. Talks on proposals like public debt office have been on before and after the budget, says the Finance Minister. Walking in step is the sub-headline of the box item, and it contains various details of talks between the Finance Ministry and the RBI for various new measures to be introduced. Another top story which finds mention in most newspapers, the Pioneer has written about it in a big way, is about how Mufti Mohammad Saeed, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, has sent out a stern warning to Pakistan. It says, will not let your men disturb Jammu and Kashmir's serenity. It says incidents like Samba, Kathua terror attacks will not be tolerated, says the Chief Minister, and the box item has the headline, Talking Tough. Finally, moving on to the Hindustan Times, the paper has on the front page, on the right of the front page, in fact, a picture of the fire which took place yesterday in Parliament House. It says, fire consumes Parliament's AC unit. The caption reads about how smoke billows from a building in Parliament complex after a major fire broke out in an AC plant on Sunday. But the paper also says Sunday has saved the day because there were no injuries on account of it being a Sunday. And the border talks between India and China, which are all set to begin today. It's the 18th round of the talks. It contains here a picture of young Jie, who will be holding the talks with Mr. Ajit Doval. It says India-China set to get real on the border. Well, these were a few of the top stories in the national dailies this morning. It's now back to the studio.
Let's now get you news from the sporting fields, and the penultimate stage has arrived in the World Cup, with the first semi-final match to be played between South Africa and New Zealand tomorrow. The match will be played at Eden at 6:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. Both South Africa and New Zealand will be eyeing to reach their maiden final of the quadrennial event. New Zealand has won all of their 7 matches in the tournament, while South Africa lost 2 of theirs in the group stage. The Proteas beat Sri Lanka in the quarter-final, while New Zealand got the better of the West Indies in the last 8. And what are the possibilities now that, all the options have narrowed down for these players and the teams? Shweta is with us. And Shweta, what are we looking at as far as New Zealand and South Africa are concerned? On paper, South Africa looks better, but both have the zeal of making it finally to the finals of the World Cup. They've never been able to do it in all these years.
First of all, I'm very happy for the fact that the 4 teams that I predicted will reach the semi-finals have reached the semi-finals.
Wonderful.
South Africa and Australia, I beg your pardon, South Africa and New Zealand, the first semi-final is, I think, the battle of equality, you can call it, Gautam. Both the teams have played exceptionally well throughout the tournament, barring 2 matches that South Africa lost to both the Asian teams, India and Pakistan.
Yes.
Both the teams have the zeal, both the teams have been termed as chokers, both the teams have the chance to become the champions. And so obviously it is the battle of equality.